Hello everyone, welcome to Achievers IAS classes. Let's begin a discussion on the current events of 14th Feb 2019. The first issue in news is regarding the CAG report on the Rafale deal. The report states that the jets bought under the intergovernmental agreement between India and France was 2.8% lower in value than the bid received in 2007. However, it has also observed that the price could have been reduced further if the benefits of waiving of the bank guarantees had been passed on to India by Dassault Aviation. On the delivery schedule, the CAG found that the 2016 deal would ensure only a month's advantage over the timeline offered in the 2007 bid. These findings come at a time when there are several accusations and a string of revelations on procedural deviations in the negotiations for the Rafale jets. The central government had repeatedly asserted that it had achieved better pricing, better maintenance terms, and better delivery schedule, which is true to an extent but not completely. The CAG has further observed that, in respect of bank guarantees, the French government had not agreed to an escrow account as the guarantees have already been provided by the government of France, and in case of a breach of agreement, the Indian government would have to first settle the issue through arbitration directly with the French vendors, and only if the arbitration were to fail, then the Indian party should exhaust all the available legal remedies before the French government would make the payment on behalf of the vendors. These findings, or the current report of the CAG, doesn't look into the offset clause, which has been a major controversy, with the opposition claiming that a private vendor was chosen against the public entity, that is the Hindustan Aeronautical Limited. This will be further probed into by the CAG, and we have to further look into it based on the findings of that audit. Until then, let's move on to the next issue, which is regarding an action plan drawn up by the Kerala government in order to increase public awareness on the harmful effects of trans fatty acids and also to encourage the local food industry to meet the current statutory limits set for these trans fatty acids. As part of this initiative, campaigns will be held on the ill effects of the trans fats at public places through various campaigns by roping in celebrities as well as ambassadors of healthy food. Also, the government would identify the manufacturers, monitor the retail sales, test a range of food products, along with guidelines for action to be taken against violators as part of its campaign. This is a welcome initiative given the rising incidence of lifestyle diseases such as diabetes, hypertension, stroke, etc. In this regard, the Health Department of Kerala is supported by the World Bank, the World Health Organization, and also the Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, along with the State Food Safety Wing, which will be in charge of the enforcement. On that note, let's move on to the next issue, which is regarding the shutdown called by separatists in Kashmir over the issue of Article 35A. Article 35A, which was incorporated into the Constitution by a presidential order in 1954, accords certain special rights and privileges to the citizens of Jammu and Kashmir with respect to acquisition of immovable property in the state. Jammu and Kashmir is currently under President's rule, and a petition has been submitted to adjourn the hearings over the issue of Article 35A as a stable government is not in place. We'll further look into this issue based on the future developments. Till then, let's move on to the next issue, which is regarding a survey done by private entity Smart Power saying that only 84% of the rural households in the states of Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Odisha, and Rajasthan have electricity connection against the government claim of 100% household electrification under the Saubhagya scheme. The report found that among the households which had access to an electricity connection, only 75% of these used electricity from the grid, which suggests that there were several households that relied on off-grid sources of electricity despite having a connection. These non-grid sources included the solar home systems, rechargeable batteries, mini-grid electricity, and diesel generators, which shows the popularity of non-grid sources of power. 80% of these households have said that they did not make use of an electricity connection because they could not afford one. However, there were other reasons also, which included unreliable supply of electricity, inadequate supply of electricity, and the lack of residence proof in order to get an electricity connection. The next issue in news is regarding the upcoming visit of the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman to India as part of his Asia tour. It comes at a time when both countries are seeking to deepen their bilateral cooperation, and also it is an opportunity to reassert Saudi Arabia's role as a major foreign policy player in Asia, while for the Indian side, it is an opportunity to highlight its stronger ties with the West Asian nations. Several factors have influenced the bilateral relations between India and Saudi Arabia, particularly the faster economic growth of Indian economy post liberalization when its dependence on energy rich nations like Saudi Arabia increased. Saudi Arabia has been a stable and trusted supplier of oil, and post the attacks of 9/11, the scope of this partnership has expanded from economic issues to even fighting terrorism. Further, Saudi Arabia and UAE have also acquired a 50% stake in a refinery complex in Maharashtra, which shows its intent to make long term investments in India's energy sector. Given the US pressure to cut oil imports from Iran, Saudi Arabia is an important partner with respect to energy security of India. However, it has to balance its ties with Iran, be it on oil trade or the Chabahar port, which is seen as a gateway to Central Asia. Therefore, India has to continue its balancing act even as it seeks to strengthen the partnership with Saudi Arabia. On that note, let's move on to the next issue, which is regarding the offer made by the crisis hit Venezuela to double oil exports to India. As you are aware, Venezuela has been slapped with US sanctions and is therefore looking for newer buyers, especially India, which is its second largest consumer after the US. In this regard, it has also said that it is open for barter arrangements with India using oil as a payment. However, given the US pressure, it has to be seen if there can be any progress on the offer made. For those of you who want to know the details of the Venezuela crisis, please go back and watch the monthly current affairs video of the previous month. For now, let's move on to the next issue, which is regarding talks between the US ambassador and the UN Commerce Minister Mr. Suresh Prabhu, where the two countries are expected to discuss on a range of issues regarding the doing business in India, the bilateral trade imbalance, India's eligibility for the generalized system of preferences, India's new data localization rules, the FDI rules for e-commerce company, and finally, the imposition of higher import tariffs on steel and aluminium, which has affected several countries including India. The two countries are expected to discuss most of these trade issues, which we'll further look into based on the final outcome. The final issue is regarding the lapse of the triple talaq and the Citizenship Amendment Bill, which have been opposed by different sections of the society for their reservations. And due to the impending elections, these bills have to be reintroduced once the parliament reconvenes. On that note, I'm wrapping up today's news analysis. Do like, share, and comment to support this initiative. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.